from the 1200 meter marker. Towards the inside, HUMIDOR is right there shortly after the start and takes the lead. Re-examined the blue sleeves and cap. They are followed by Portman Square. Just behind that is Destined for Dawn. That's got the yellow cap and the blue blinkers. Sheltering Arms 3 or 4 lengths off the lead. Further back is Baccalaureate. At this stage, Zingana, the red blinkers, about 5 lengths off the leader. And then comes Jason Argo, 2 off the right-hand side. Then Royce Power. HUMIDOR is the leader. And in second is Re-examined. Between the two of them, Baccalaureate. Then Portman Square. Destined for Dawn is the blue blinkers. On the outside, Jason Argo. Royce Powers also in with a shout. HUMIDOR is the leader as they get to the 300 meter marker. Down the inside, Baccalaureate. Royce Powers still trying to stay on. Jason Argo coming to the 200. HUMIDOR, Jason Argo. On the outside, Royce Power, Destined for Dawn. HUMIDOR continues to go though from Jason Argo. HUMIDOR's just doing enough, and HUMIDOR has won it. Second place, Jason Argo. Royce Power third, Destined for Dawn fourth. Number 4, HUMIDOR, the Meersk's approval, 355 days off the track. Lovely looking son of Meersk's of approval, you heard from Sheldon, and he wins it well, and number 4 ends up at 370. Jason Argo, nice run back in second. Only gets beaten that length, does number 8, Jason Argo, who ends up paying $5.90 a place. Third, number 2, and that was Royce Power, also a pick in the parade. $2.50 the place. Then number 1, the toad favourite, Destined for Dawn. Baccalaureate, Portman Square, Re-examined further back down the field. Race time 69.66. So the toad favourite is number 1, and the winner on the left, HUMIDOR, only having its second start and just keeps punching away, does Anton. And HUMIDOR continues to go by a length from number 8, Jason Argo. And that third placing to Royce Power. There's a number of horses that are going to show improvement after this run. Until the running of the 4th race, that's our Pick 6 carryover. It's over 1,200 metres. Back to the studio.
Race number 3, over 1,200 meters, the start of a place accumulator, and he is a beautiful horse. He's a striking looking individual, and he's come through after this long layoff, a year's break that they gave him after his debut on the 28th of October. And Tony's going to tell us a bit more about what went wrong or why the layoff. But before we get to that, Tony, I mean, what a looker he is. He's a smashing looking individual.
He's an absolute oil painting. He's, I would say, conformation-wise, he's as perfect a horse as you can get.
And talking about the layoff, he's been off for a year.
Geez, if I have to tell you all the hassles this horse has had, we'll delay the start of the 6th race, so we won't go there. I'm obviously delighted. The owners have been very patient, and we've put a lot of effort into him. Terry himself, because mostly Terry rides him at home because we're nervous of putting anyone else on him. Not because he's a difficult ride. He's a child's pony. But just the way we warm him up and just to make sure that he's had a lot of hindquarter problems and fetlock problems, and he rolls in the box, and if there's a cough, he'll get it. You know, it's just been one after the next. I thought this may be a bit short for him. I wasn't so worried about fitness. We've done a lot of work with him. But, you know, 6 furlong, he's got a pedigree where he's got to be better over a mile or 9 furlongs. So a little concerned over the 6 furlong thing. But the way he went to the start, he really went down to the start like he'd been doing it every week. And that's what good horses do. They rise to the occasion. They know when the races are here.
Well, patience rewarded to yourself and your patrons. Before you leave us, Tony, anything else you like later on?
Geez, I'm running a very nice smart colt in the next race, smart gelding, I should say. He's only had 1 stiff grass gallop at home, so that concerns me a little bit. He's a flighty type, so he may be looking around a little bit. A lot of respect for Duncan's horse in the race. There's no pressure. We just want him to run well. We don't like our horses being punished at the races. They must win because they want to win, you know. We don't like horses getting a hiding, especially first time. And then Highway Explorer is returning from a 6-month rest in a very competitive field, but he's really working well, and I think he'll be competitive.
All the best with this horse moving forward.
Thank you, Dees.
Well done, Tony Rivelin. Anton has come back, and he's partnered the son of Mia's approval back from this lengthy break. And as Tony mentioned, he thought that this was going to be on the sharp side for him. Were you surprised when you jumped off and the gate speed he showed?
I was relieved afterwards. I got a a presidential pardon from Tony after the way I rode Diamond King.
That's racing, Anton. But you set the record straight with this horse, coming off a long break, and I was impressed with the manner in which he got the job done over this trip.
So was I. Tony and the rest of the yard. They spoke to me about this horse quite some time ago, and Ian in particular. So he shows them a fair amount at home. I think it might have been a pleasant surprise winning a 6, but he's a nice horse.
Before you leave us, Anton, thanks for coming back firstly. Anything else later on from your side?
I thought Gavin's filly in the last. She looks to improve. She's incredibly temperamental. I've actually worked her, Probably looking for a 10 furlong, but she's in quite a good place at the moment. Not taking on much.
And in a horse like Red Carpet Captain?
This is his prep run for the race at the end of the month. The blinkers have sharpened him up a little bit. I'll be surprised if he wins it, but he's doing quite nicely.
And your impressions on this horse before you leave us? We're going to pencil him in. He looks like a lovely horse.
I think he's a very nice horse, these.
Thanks, Anton.
Thank you.
Well done, Anton Marcus. Let's get Ian Horsfield in and Mrs. Liley. And we see Mark there in the background. And as I mentioned, well done to the other patrons as well. A lady that's enjoying a fantastic run with the horses is Mrs. Liley. And I like the way Tony is bringing your horses along, especially this horse who was off for a long while, Mrs. Liley.
That's correct. And I'd like to say a big thank you to Tony and a big thank you to Terry, who have both worked very hard on this horse, because he is one of those horses that always wants to hurt himself for some unknown reason. But he's a beautiful horse, and well done to Backworth. They bred him, and they've been waiting a long time also to see him go past the post first.
When we talk about looks, you've owned many horses in the past. I mean, he must stand up there with some of the best that you owned if it was a beauty contest.
If it was a beauty contest, yes. He is lovely.
Ian?
This is my partner, Ian.
As it is. Yeah, I think he's as good looking as Mary and I as a couple. So hopefully it goes to better things. Well done to Tony. Well done to my brother-in-law. Thanks to Mary. It's the first horse we've owned together. Lovely horse. Thanks to Anton. He got his pardon from us, and let's hope for better things.
You chatted to me about this horse a while back, and you mentioned that he's a horse that just does it to himself, and really nice to see him back at the races in the manner that he's come back and the way he's won.
Yeah, I think all credit goes to Tony and Terry. They've really worked hard with him. He seems to roll in the box more than anything, hopefully he doesn't have any more problems.
Yeah, and I've chatted to Mrs. Liley a number of times since the beginning of the season. This is my first with you, and hopefully it's the first of many, many more.
Thanks, Dees. All the best.
Well done to the guys here, Mrs. Liley and Ian Horsfield. Number 4, HUMIDOR. I think is a horse that many will pencil in after this win. 4, 8, 2 and 1. That's the way they finish race number 3. Coming up next will be the start of the Pick 6. It's the 4th, and the time to jot down there will be 1400 hours, which will be 2 o'clock.